So, Joe, just incredible, staggering, historic scenes yesterday of President Biden walking the streets of Kyiv. We'll get into some of the details that Jen can appreciate about how they pulled this off to get the president inside of that country via train on a secret flight out of Andrews Air Force Base. But what a message the president sent yesterday.
Well, an incredible message that he sent. His historic trip. David Ignatius, the first time since the Civil War, since Lincoln Road, to see how Union troops are doing against the South, that a president rode into a war zone that his side was not controlling. No U.S. troops, obviously, no U.S. troops in Ukraine. The security obviously could not be guaranteed. That Joe Biden went and sent just an absolutely stunning message to the world, but most importantly, to the people of Ukraine. We're here. Ukraine stands, Kyiv stands, freedom stands.
He said in what I thought was the signature line in the speech, "We're here as long as it takes." And to me, Joe, his presence there just was a reminder of what physical presence and personal courage has meant in this war. This war became a real battle in which the Russians were being pushed back because of the physical image of Vladimir Zelensky, the president, who didn't flee Kyiv. We offered him help. We said, how can we help you find another alternative capital? He said, no, I'm staying.
What was his line? He said, I need weapons, not a ride.
Weapons, not a ride.
Yeah.
I'm staying. I'm here. And it was that figure. We all remember the image of him in his gray, green outfit, sitting with his pals. He stayed, and the country saw it. And I had messages from Ukrainian friends yesterday who said they were in tears because they were so moved that this American president had taken the risk physically to be there with them, to make this statement. We're here. We support you for as long as it takes. So I think it's one of the most important days in Biden's presidency, in which his basic qualities of commitment, caution is part of it, but overcoming that caution to be there with people who needed him.
An extraordinary trip, Shane. A trip unlike, again, any president in our lifetime, any president in Biden's lifetime, any president, as you wrote in the column, since Abraham Lincoln. I mean, the guy sneaks out of Washington, goes to the border, the abandoned train station, goes about 10 hours through the night, gets there, and then, with the Russians knowing he's there, takes a 10-hour train trip back.
Exactly.
Essentially daring Putin. Go ahead. You know where I am. I mean, it's a scene, again, where we have not witnessed in our lifetime of any president.
That's the amazing thing. I mean, you're so exposed. He's exposed on that train for 10 hours, riding through Ukraine, and come on, Putin, take a shot if you want to take, if you want to take a shot. I thought it was an incredibly moving day, as you said, an incredible day in the Biden presidency, and an incredible day for Ukraine. I mean, just every report is that is about what it has done to the spirit of the Ukrainian people. Not that it was necessarily flagging, but it certainly got a boost from President Biden's presence. And the message he delivered was firm, and it helps unite the allies, keep the allies together as well, when they see President Biden taking this risky step. So it was a huge day.
We've spoken time and again, Jen, about how Vladimir Putin has underestimated Ukraine. He's underestimated the West's resolve.
Overestimated his own military.
He's overestimated his own military. He's underestimated Joe Biden time and again. But that's really Biden's strength. Biden underestimated time and again before the 2022 election. Everybody's shocked. Underestimated again. You start to hear the talking in Washington every 2 weeks. Who's going to replace him? He's too old. He does the State of the Union address, and people sit up in their chairs going, my God, we've underestimated him. And here, Mika and I had a lot of discussions when we knew he was going to Poland. She goes, do you think he'll go to Kyiv? I go, I just don't see
seems hard.
how anybody could make that 20-hour trip exposed He did it.
Yeah. I mean, we're at about a year, right, from the start of this war, which is so stark. And I was just thinking this morning, remembering back what we were all looking at a year ago, which was a Russian military we all thought was going to quickly, in days, overpower the Ukrainians. They did not. Skepticism about the Europeans staying together and providing support. That was wrong. Even we here in the United States were skeptical. Even sitting in the White House were skeptical about what would happen. I think it's impossible I've worked on a lot of these trips. You plan to go to war zones. This is a step beyond, given the U.S. military doesn't oversee Ukraine. That's the key thing. But for any war zone, Afghanistan, Iraq, places where presidents have gone for decades, it is secret. You tell no one. It's so dangerous. And the U.S. military controls those areas. Biden's wanted to go since I was back in the White House. But as you all have said, this was dangerous, and he did it because he wanted to show we're with you and send that message to the public, too.
That scene of U.S. jets flying along the Polish border, but not being able to follow the train into Ukraine as Biden goes in with a small staff winding on an excruciating 10-hour train trip where the Russians could have very easily taken the train out, taken Biden out. He did the trip anyway, and Willie, it is really is something. It's been a long, hard winter for the Ukrainians, and for Joe Biden, for the American president, any American president, to arrive at this time shows such an extraordinary vote of confidence, and also, of course, with the message, Kyiv stands, and we're going to stand next to you as long as we need to.